Değerli konuklar, sektörün değerli temsilcileri, çok kıymetli katılımcılar. Conf-ITS 1. Ulusal Akıllı Ulaşım Sistemleri Konferansı'nın ilk gününün ilk yarısını geride bıraktık. Hepiniz tekrar hoş geldiniz, şeref verdiniz. Konferansımızın bu bölümünde akıllı ulaşım uygulamaları ve araştırmaları konulu ilk panelimizde programımıza devam ediyoruz. Şimdi bu panelin moderatörü olan Ulaştırma ve Altyapı Bakanlığı Haberleşme Genel Müdürü, Conf-ITS Danışma Kurulu Başkanı Sayın Aysel Kandemir Hanımefendi'yi alkışlarınızla sahneye davet ediyorum. Buyursunlar efendim. Buradan efendim. Buyurun. Peki. Estağfurullah efendim. Mütakiben panelde yer alan birinci panelistimiz, Turkcell Bölgesel Ağ Operasyonları ve Ar-Ge Direktörü Sayın Doktor Mustafa Karakoç Beyefendi'yi sahneye davet ediyorum alkışlarınızla. Hoş geldiniz. Sağ olun. Ben sahneden inince rahatlayacak sahne, merak etmeyin. İkinci panelistimiz Birmingham Üniversitesi'nde ulaştırma planlaması konusunda doçent olarak görev yapan Sayın Dülüm Disaneyeki hanımefendiyi sahneye davet ediyoruz alkışlarınızla. Welcome. Nice to meet you too. Üçüncü panelistimiz Multiconsult Norveç Uzman Trafik Danışmanı Sayın Doçent Doktor Tuğba Arsava hanımefendiyi alkışlarınıza davet ediyorum. Hoş geldiniz. Buyurun efendim. Dördüncü panelistimiz Avusturya Tek Teknik Direktörü, Sea Roads Platformu Genel Sekreteri Sayın Martin Böhm Beyefendiyi alkışlarınızla sahneye davet ediyorum. Nice to meet you, sir. Welcome. Welcome. Beşinci panelistimiz AUS Avustralya CEO'su ve AUS Avustralya İcra Kurulu Başkanı Sayın Susan Harris hanımefendi aramızda video konuşmasıyla yer alacak. Şimdi paneli başlatması için sözü Sayın Genel Müdürümüze veriyorum. Rica ederim. Çok özür diliyorum. Slaytlarınızı değiştirmek için bu aparatın up and down tuşlarını kullanarak if you want to change your slides, up and down buttons, keys, you can use. Okay. Thank you. Merci. Mikrofonları açalım.
Çok teşekkür ediyorum. Öncelikle sabahki açılıştan sonra hep birlikte bugün ilk panelimizde birlikteyiz. Bugünkü oturumda çok kıymetli katılımcılarımız var. Kendileri farklı alanlardan akıllı ulaşım sistemlerini yapmış oldukları çalışmalarla bizlere aktaracaklar. Tabii akıllı ulaşım sistemleri sabah da konuştuk. Çok boyutlu bir yapıya haiz. Sadece haberleşme değil, sadece yol güvenliği değil, sadece demir yolları ya da karayolları değil, pek çok disiplini bir arada çalışmasını gerektiren, bir arada işbirliğinde çalışmayı gerektiren, aynı zamanda da sistemlerin teknik olarak birbirleriyle iletişim kurabileceği, birbirleriyle çalışabileceği bir sistemi gerektiriyor. Bu itibarla da tarafların, paydaşların fikirleri, çalışmaları çok önemli. Bugün de biz aramıza panelist olarak operatörlerimizden, araştırmacılarımızdan, çeşitli platformda liderlik eden kuruluşlarımızdan kıymetli katılımcılar davet ettik. Katılımcılarımızın bir kısmı tabii sunularını İngilizce sunacaklar. Ben mümkün mertebe yarı Türkçe, yarı İngilizce konuşmaya çabalayacağım diyeyim isterseniz. Çünkü katılımcılarımızın kulaklığı şu an var mı? Alabiliyorlar mı? Kulaklarında var mı? Ha, okey, tamam. O zaman ben göremedim. Tamam, okey. It's okay, isn't it? Okay, thank you. Okay, perfect. Do you hear? Ha. You don't have Dilim? You don't have? Ha, Esma Hanım bir tane hazırlayalım. İlk konuşmacımız Turkcell'den Mustafa Karakoç Bey. Tabii operatör olarak, mobil operatör olarak akıllı ulaşım sistemleri konusunda sabah da konuştuk. Elektronik haberleşme altyapısı, sadece altyapı değil, elektronik haberleşme operatörlerimizin sunmuş oldukları hizmetler, akıllı ulaşımın geleceği için oldukça kritik önemi haiz. Ben 25 yıldır telekomünikasyon sektöründe çalışmış biri olarak tüm jenerasyonları gördüm herhalde. 2G, 3G, 4.5G, hatta 2G öncesini de görmüş oldum. Şimdi artık 5G'yi konuşuyoruz. Fakat o zaman insandan insana haberleşme, daha sonrasında makineler arası haberleşme, daha sonrasında her şeyin haberleşmesi derken aslında şimdi tüm sektörlerin bilgi ve iletişim teknolojileri kalkınması, daha ileri noktaya gitmesi, sundukları konvansiyonel hizmetlerin daha bilgiye dayalı sunulması noktasında artık haberleşme sektörü, bilgi ve iletişim sektörü anahtar rol konumunda. Yani sadece büyüyen bir sektör değiliz biz, büyüten de bir sektörüz tabiri caizse. Ulaşım sektörü de bunun istisnası elbette değil. Hatta çok daha önemli çünkü biraz da analoji yaptığımızda aslında haberleşmeye de benziyor. Datayı taşırken şimdi artık yolcuyu taşırken de bilerek, izleyerek, bir takım bilgilerle informed decision dediğimiz hani bilgiye dayalı kararlar vererek hem güvenliği sağlayacağız, hem yolların etkin verimli kullanılması sağlayacağız, hem de pek çok kaynağımıza aslında en önemlisi zaman en doğru şekilde, en hızlı şekilde ulaşacak ama güvenli ulaşacak şekilde sağlayacağız. Burada da tabii akıllı ulaşım sistemlerine çok büyük rol düşüyor. Taraflara da çok büyük rol düşüyor. Ben daha fazla sözü uzatmayayım isterseniz. İlk sözü Turkcell'e vereyim. O bize akıllı ulaşım sistemleri olarak Turkcell'in perspektifi nedir? Hangi türlü çalışmalar yapıyorlar akıllı ulaşım sistemleriyle ilgili olarak? İleriye dönük vizyonları neler? Aktarmış olsunlar. Buyurun söz sizin lütfen.
Teşekkür ediyorum. Sanırım sesim geliyor. Sayın Genel Müdürüm, Sayın Başkanım, değerli katılımcılar, dinleyiciler, hepinizi saygıyla selamlıyorum. İsmim Mustafa Karakoç. Turkcell'de bölge operasyonları ve aynı zamanda Ar-Ge'den sorumlu direktör olarak çalışmaktayım. It's not mind. I'm going to translate for the, English to continue my presentation. Today, my presentation and my topic is going to talk about the technology with the different verticals. I think it's very good. Okay. Technology is moving
Passenger
really,
satisfaction levels.
moving so fast. It is not
Through the
only
integration
one
of AI
dimension.
image analysis,
It is
edge
also
computing,
touch other
sensing tech, and
verticals
instant
as well.
communication. Advanced
Intelligent
integrated
transport systems are really one of the key topic that the wireless communication technology is going to touch with them. In previous times, at the moment, we were just carrying voice and the data. Data is including very valuable information. As Aysan mentioned that we are going to combine them together. The valuable information, we should transform this data into the different domains to make life easier. Intelligent Transport Systems, ITS, is one of the important topics that we are going to consider and that we are going to focus on it. The legacy technologies, 2G, 3G, 4G, 4.5G in Turkey, is focus on the carry first voice, then basic data, after then the high-speed data. On top of this, to convert this data information into the valuable information, we need something else. This is the new technologies are bringing to our life. One of the key is the 5G. 5G is relatively different than the other technologies. Today, we can carry high-speed data, but the high speed is not enough by itself. need to combine some other capabilities as well. One of the important capability is low latency, high reliability, and automation. With these three capabilities, by having the 5G technologies, we can combine the valuable information into any and every different verticals. ITS is very important vertical that we are going to consider. I think you can see the presentation, right? Because of, we are in front of them. There's some capabilities into the 5G, for instance, the AI and the reliable software, cloud, edge, automations are accelerating this transformation. Also, slicing capability is very important functionality in 5G to dedicate the related resource into the given verticals. No matter where, no matter who, no matter when, you can do this slicing capability to provide in a given vertical the enough resources. Sometimes you need in a given place more than one different vertical requirements. You can do your reservation, resource reservation dynamically whenever you want to the given vertical requirements. Okay. It's not, I think, yeah. The next one, please. Okay. For this focus, as I said, that Turkcell is really considering about the ITS solutions, and we are not only doing some trials in the field, we are also working and sensitively focusing on some European Union projects, and these projects are really very important and combine of the national and the international partners. We have been started in 2021 with the seamless transport of the border between Turkey and Greece, and it was one of the project in European Union project combined around 9 different countries, and our responsibility is to make intelligent the basic transport systems. Then in 2022, as you may remember that the Istanbul big airport is opened and 5G capability is there. Still you can enjoy the functionality of the 5G at the Istanbul big airport. And we did again ITS capability showcase in the Istanbul big airport. Our ministers also experienced, and we understand that there are a lot of different opportunities that we should consider in the ITS systems by having the wireless communication technology. In 2023, we did first mobile edge computing technology. As I mentioned that high speed plus low latency is very important for different verticals. We can provide high speed with 4.5G, but using MEC technology in 5G, you can do very, very low latency capability. I'm going to explain something for further with the latency means that in 2024, last year, in Technofest Adana, we experienced one of the excavator smart construction use case. Adana and Istanbul, 2 big cities, the distance between the 2 cities are around 800 kilometers. And the latency is 25 milliseconds, which is, 8 times faster than clipping your eyes. 8 times faster. Around 25 milliseconds. It took 200 milliseconds to clipping your eyes, close and open. And this is 25 milliseconds. And you can easily control the excavator in Istanbul region by doing the operator's capability in Adana City. This is not only the showcase. We are going to use this showcase, especially some disaster cases in the future. Or we are going to increase the efficiency of the operators to use different excavators in different regions. And also here, last year again, we did one other trial in Istanbul Technical University, intelligent bus without driver. This shuttle bus can carry the students into the campus, and using the 5G technologies, driverless shuttle bus can carry the students from one point to other point. Now here in this exhibition, you can see in the outside, we have a one BMOPS car, and the distance between Ankara and Istanbul is around 450 kilometers. Again in Istanbul Technical University, you can directly contact and control the car which is into the campus from here. This is how wireless communication takes into the role to the ITS systems. You know, it is not easy to say one technology without having the other technology. That's why the capability of the different domains being together is the valuable information that I mentioned previously. I would like to give some insights in the two cases. In the my right-hand side, your left-hand side, here in the intelligent shuttle case, you can see that the 1.5 gigabit per second speed and 15 millisecond latency in the left-hand side, we can easily carry the students by using this shuttle bus in this route. No matter where in the campus, if you have a 5G signal, you can carry this. In the right-hand side, in Adana case, 1.3 gigabit per second speed and the 22 millisecond latency. Of course, it is not so easy to extend this capability into the country, everywhere into the country. But if something is necessary, this kind of specific cases should be used to make the life easier. As Turkcell, we are not only limited the verticals in ITS systems, we are also working on the different verticals as well, starting from health to the education, e-commerce to the operation, basic operation. And we are not only limited to the technology that we are having on in the reality 2G, 3G, 4.5G, even in the 5G, hope we are going to have the next year in the 5G technology in our country, But in the research phase, beyond the 5G technologies are taking much more responsibility. Reconfigurable intelligent surfaces, RIS, and the sensing and communication technologies, ISAC, are one of the very important topics in 6G technology that are today discussing about the standardization. Of course, any of them is not work well without having to do artificial intelligence. By using the capability and the support of the artificial intelligence and wireless communication, I'm pretty sure that each and every vertical can combine together to make the life easier. Thank you very much.
Mustafa Bey'e çok teşekkür ediyoruz. Sorularımızı belki tüm sunumlar tamamlandıktan sonra sunabiliriz. Şimdi diğer konuşmacımız Dilyum Disanake, Birmingham Üniversitesi'nde doçent olarak görevi yapıyor. Özellikle araştırmaları ve farklı alanlarda özellikle yolcu davranışları konusundaki araştırmalar oldukça dikkat çekici. Kendisi de aynı zamanda You are a remarkable woman in transport, isn't it? Yani ulaşımda mükemmel kadın ödülü almış bir araştırmacı. Kendisini tebrik ediyoruz. Bize çok keyifli bir sunum yapacağına inanıyorum. Buyurun. Please, floor is yours. Thank you. For sure, for sure, for sure.
Hello. I think okay, right?
Teknik bir arkadaş. Voice is coming.
Hello. Okay. Oh, that's good. Very nice to see you all. Nice to be here to talk to all of you about the interesting research we do in University of Birmingham. And most of the presentation here is very much related to the projects that we deliver, either PhDs or research projects. And in the end, I thought to summarize some interesting three main projects, bigger ones in the UK side that I involve in one of them. So let's start to talk about this intelligent transport system. So we have a lot of work going on, either sensor technology, data analysis, and also they help us to make an efficient transportation system, improving productivity and efficiency in the whole system. And we all talk about smart cities and how we can combine our research and implement them in practice. So that's all about what we do in university systems. And I defined, you can't see a lot of things in the bottom side of the slide, but I identified four main things, and they are driver and pedestrian safety. We could improve with ITS systems, and also operational systems, the wider systems, bus systems, rail systems, how you can efficiently improve them. And third one is the personal mobility, very important. Whatever you do in ITS, if people wouldn't use them, then you are not making a step forward. So personal mobility is the third one. And in the end, of course, we all talk about how to have efficient signal control, improve our system without having too much congestion on roads. And in those, I mainly focus on two main things: how we could improve the efficiency of the system, and personal mobility, how we could get people to understand the system so that behavioral change is possible. So they are the two main things that myself and my team are currently working on. When we talk about systems, so you can see that whatever country you travel, you see a lot of traffic congestion on roads, and we always think the other side of the spectrum, how can we generate efficient, green, very relaxed systems that people would enjoy. So easy to say, we try to go from here to there, but of course that is not going to be that easy. But if we have a lot of good systems, that is fantastic, but also we need to buy in from people. They need to use our system and try and find a sustainable way of living, including transportation. So all of my research and my team working on how to move from congested, stressful road situation to greener, more sustainable transportation systems. So I try to give an introduction what we mean, what we do in our current research. So you can see that three main areas: electrification, that is very important, how to have the equitable the system infrastructure, charging infrastructure, for example, so that people will use the sustainable transport modes, for example. And also I work on quite heavily on shared mobility and mobility hubs. And how could people get people to use the mobility hubs, shared mobility systems, and when you talk about the people side, the behavioral change is very, very important. So how could we do that? So I have a lot of projects, not only PhD, but also funded projects in this domain. And finally, the autonomous mobility, the user behavior, what users think, would they use it and how they use it. Before they come to our system, we would like to know so that ITS systems can be organized to deliver what people want. So that is the next one I focus on. So they are the projects in the last 5 years we have completed. So we have lots of outputs to show, but I selected a few to make sure you will understand what exactly what University of Birmingham is up to in terms of these projects. So one of the projects is micromobility, how we could use cycling sensors to predict the cycling flows. And the second and third one is very much related to shared mobility, but not just sharing, but mobility hubs. How could we understand mobility hubs working, and what kind of modes are more demanded in our society by people? So these two projects were now finished, and we are now working on another proposal to carry on with the second and third one. When it comes to the cycling sensors, so British cities, they are very fortunate to have a lot of data. And we got data from cycling sensors, and lot of, you can see the locations in a particular area where you can have loop detectors, so cycling sensors data coming into a server. So we got a PhD project funded in this area. So we used the data during the COVID time, before and after COVID, to understand the cyclist, the behavior of cyclists. And of course, we didn't have enough information about socio-demographics, but we have how many cyclists on the road and passing a particular point, and could that be informed future policies based on the outcomes. So the work is published in IET/ITS journal, because I am also in the journal panel, and I thought this journal is fantastic because it's related to sensor technology and how could we model the data we get from cycling sensors. So that project is now finished, and mobility hub projects that we have done last 5 years over COVID. And we initially thought lots of different ideas of collecting data and information. Then, of course, COVID came across, and in the middle of the time, so we decided to have alternative plans, how we want to collect the data. So we had a lot of questionnaires developed and asked people, think about how you have traveled year before and tell us about what you do, because we can't ask, can you think about last week, because we were not traveling, right? So lots of complications coming in when you do projects, but if you solve them in a realistic way, that's all matters. So we understood the hubs means either 2 vehicles or more than 2 vehicles in one place. So do you understand why we talk about 2 vehicles? Because we want to give people choices. So if you have 2 options, you can either find this particular option is better for you. If not, you think about the second option. So giving people choices will make this behavioral change much more possible than telling everyone, okay, e-scooter out there, would you use it? Nobody will look at them. Okay. So one of the reasons of this particular project is fundamental first project in Europe and 92 electric mobility hubs across 6 different countries, and we actively collected data before and after they were implemented. So we compare, contrast different things, and got really interesting papers out there to publish in different journals. So some of the things we found is quite alarming, because some users they actually use public transport. They want to use mobility hubs now. So it is not what we actually want, but also people who use cycling move to e-scooters. Would that we want, actually? So these things can happen when something comes to the system, then everybody enthusiastically use them, but after some time things settle. But of course, we found that if we want to have everybody to use shared mobility or mobility hubs, we have to give them better opportunity, much more user-friendly services to be able to keep the demand, otherwise they go back to use their cars. So it's really interesting findings we found in the other side. We applied the Rogers diffusion of innovation. Who are the people actually used to use technology first, like innovators, early adopters? So who are the laggards that we could do something about it and bring them to innovator side? So research informed lots of really interesting ideas from these projects. When we come to autonomous mobility, we are beginning to think about what kind of factors affecting us to think about autonomous mobility more creatively and use them when they come to our system. So the fundamental research we have done with so many number of publications, used data mining, text mining methods, and understood lots of interesting factors influencing the behavior, influencing their perception to use the autonomous mobility. One of the PhD projects started. And also, this is really interesting, connected to autonomous buses and how people's perception related to autonomous buses and how could we visualize them in geospatial space. That is also really interesting in terms of research activities we do. And the other thing I mentioned about electrification, we do a lot of work on machine learning, artificial intelligence area to understand the equitable infrastructure, charging infrastructure, that currently we don't have a plan. We have trial and error methods. How we could do this in a way that everybody in our society will be equally have opportunity to use the future electric vehicles without thinking about, oh, I don't have a charging infrastructure and I'm not going to buy it. Okay? So these things are very important in energy area. So we are moving on quite heavily onto electric mobility and charging infrastructure. So this shows the UK research. 3 main projects recently funded, transport is centered to them, and the first one is a CLEATS project. This is Clean Energy in Transportation, and University of Birmingham leading, where I am involved in the project. So it's a 5-year major grant with USA. We try to understand hydrogen mobility, autonomous mobility, and electric mobility, and how these mobility in terms of energy and how we could have a clean energy in future transportation. And the middle one is all about really interesting project called Infuse. The project is led by Leeds University, and the idea behind this is how could you manage your travel within a city without a car? So it's a city travel without a car. So that's the main aim of the project, and it is already started last year. And the third one is a DEA project. This is UKRI funded EPSRC and Department for Transport funded project, and it is a hub where they facilitate future, the resilient, adaptable and resilient cities transportation infrastructure. So this is one of the key projects in the UK wide spectrum targeting ITS within the projects. So it's not coming like ITS project, but everything we do related to ITS related work. Brief information, I think I will skip here, a lot of information online. If you type CLEATS in Google, so many things, interesting things you will see that we are already trying. It's a bigger project with lots of colleagues across Birmingham, Cardiff, and USA, and we are actually working heavily on this project at the moment. And this is me. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dilim. It is really interesting presentation, especially for the statistics you have done for electricity for the cars. Do you have any percentage on that? I mean, what percentage of people can reach to electricity charging mechanism in the UK or in the Birmingham? Can you give rough idea on that?
Yes, equitable infrastructure is really important because 2035, every car we buy should be electric. So if we don't do anything at the moment, it is going to be chaotic because people won't have any place to charge, right? But government wouldn't sell other vehicles than electric. So currently we are working on the equitable, how many charging points around your house. Is a spatial analysis going on, and we will have the results very soon about that one.
Diğer konuşmacımız Tuğba Arsava, doçent doktor. Tuğba Hanım benim şöyle dikkatimi çekmişti. Kendisiyle de konuştum. Benim bir kızım var, üniversite sınavına hazırlanıyor. Aslında İngilizce dilli bir okula gidiyor ama yurt dışını istemiyor. Hani ama derken çoğu arkadaş isterken kızım istemedi. Bize tabii bizim yanımızda olmasını memnuniyetle karşılıyoruz. Yine de hocaları biraz bir araştırın, belki heveslenir diye bakın dedi. Ben de baktım yurt dışı üniversiteler, çocuklar nasıl motive oluyor yurt dışı üniversitelere, yurt dışındaki üniversite okumak mı iyidir? Türkiye'de daha mı avantajlıdır? Böyle şeyler araştırırken Tuğba Hanım'ın bir videosu karşıma çıktı. Hatta kendisine de söylemiş oldum. O zaman Amerika'da sanırım.
Evet,
Amerika'ya geçmişler. Çocukları da oldu orada. Ben tabii birkaç kez takip etmiş oldum. Sonrasında bizim oturumumuzda panelist olunca hakikaten bu konuyu biraz önce kendisiyle konuştuk. İnşaat mühendisi olmasına rağmen biraz daha akıllı ulaşıma yönelip analizler yapan bir hocamız, doçent doktor. Kendisine ben sözü vereyim. Çok keyifli bir oturum olacağını düşünüyorum.
Çok
sunumuyla.
teşekkür ederim. Öncelikle evde olmak çok güzel. Hele böyle alandan profesyonelle karşılaşmak gerçekten benim için çok harika bir fırsat oldu. Özellikle Esma Hanım'a çok teşekkür ediyorum ulaştığınız için. Ben sunumuma aslında bir soruyla başlamak istiyorum. Receiver nerede?
Down button.
Down button mı? Okay. So perfect. So, ve özür dileyerek ben sunumumu İngilizce hazırladım. O yüzden İngilizce devam edeceğim. My question is why intelligent transportation systems matters. Actually, before that question, I want to ask you, how was your trip to Technopark this morning? My trip was a little bit long and boring because I got stuck in the traffic. I guess more or less everybody was experiencing the same thing. We have a congestion problem. Congestion is not just the congestion itself. It costs a lot of money to community. And based on the research, we know that back in the US, Okay. We know that the urban congestion costs $160 billion every year. This is a huge amount of money. It definitely can be used for better purposes. And per person, it is $800 per person every year. And personally, I would prefer to go for a vacation and use that money instead of just wasting the traffic. And we have the ITS part. If I just think about the ITS solution, ITS is saying that, okay, I see your problem, but it is solvable. We can solve this problem with platoon management. We can harmonize the speed. We can eliminate the shock wave impact. So it is doable. And when I check the solution, and it makes sense to me, so definitely we can manage the platoons. If we check the problem in more driver base, per driver, we are losing 100 hours every year just sitting in the traffic. I'm not considering your trip time, travel time. It is just the time you got stuck in the traffic and you just wait. And this is what the time we are losing for nothing. And at the ITS side, ITS is proposing, okay, I can provide you the city dashboards, I can work with the traffic management centers, and you can plan your trip before you start, and you can minimize your travel time. It is also very encouraging. Last one, I'm not sure, I don't think you can see the pictures, I was not aware of the screen. Last one is the worst one. We are losing 1.3 million people every year in traffic accidents. For nothing. Imagine a scenario, a mother or father leaves home and there's no way back. So this is very unfortunate. And ITS systems is saying that I'm getting smarter, I'm surrounded by sensors, so even you don't see your blind spot, I can connect with other vehicles, I can talk with them, I can talk with the infrastructure, and I can maximize the safety. And if I check this picture, definitely I want to stay at the right side. This is why ITS matters. So what is this ITS, where it is coming from, and where we are going to? If we check the story of the ITS systems, it starts from the 1960s. It starts with the first computerized traffic signals, and then we are going to induce loop detectors. Then we started to have the traffic control centers. And then first ITS America established. In 1990s, we started to hear about more ITS. And around 2000, we started to use GPS devices as a map purpose or the traffic information purpose. And through the 2010s, okay, so the animations is coming. 2010s, we started to talk about smart cities. We started to talk about V2X, V2V, V2I, vehicle-to-vehicle connection, vehicle-to-infrastructure connections. So everything is getting to smarter. And from today to future, now we are talking about digital twins. We are talking about the level 5 of autonomous systems. We are in the level 3 right now, but we are moving forward to level 4 and level 5. We are hearing more about MaaS, which is the mobility as a service. We are talking about edge computing. This is a very powerful and efficient way of optimizing and managing traffic in local base. And both the digital twin and edge computing, they work very efficiently together. And we are talking about the 5Gs, which enables the vehicle-to-vehicle connection. We are talking about artificial intelligence, which makes everything smarter and efficient. And at the top, we are talking about quantum computing at traffic management. Quantum computers are in use for very specific areas right now, but we are planning to use it for the traffic management. It is getting there. So on the paper, everything looks perfect, but is there any places they applied these technologies and what they got? Is it working or not? Is everything good on paper or not? So there are definitely several places. Singapore is a very good one. They also have a digital twin, but I want to talk about the impact of the electronic road pricing. They implemented the electronic road pricing, and as a result, they got public transportation usage increased by 20%. Travel speed improved from 35 to 55 kilometers per hour because traffic is flowing. And the people, they are driving the city centers reduced by 40%. It is almost a half. Imagine you are reducing the Kızılay's traffic 50%. So it will be very efficient. And we are talking about the accidents reduced by 25%. The next example is from US, Pittsburgh. They implemented the adaptive signal control, which is actually my area of expertise. And by just implementing the adaptive signal control, they noticed that travel time reduced by 25%. The waiting time at intersections reduced by 40%. It is almost a half. And then you are talking about the emission reduced by the 20%. So it is not just proposing less waiting time and shorter travel times, it is also proposing cleaner air. So it is kind of a win-win. So till here, we all talk about good things about ITS. Don't we have any bad sides, black side of it, or challenges? Of course we do. So the first and the main challenge is the privacy and cybersecurity. This is a main problem. The other problem is the real-world testing and edge cases for artificial intelligence. And the next one is the real-time traffic data management. So ITS feeds itself with the data. We are collecting tremendous amount of data, but if you don't know how to manage with it, it's a total failure. So traffic management is the key. Data management is the key. At this point, I want to share the research that we completed about real-time traffic data management. So for our study, we propose, okay, we are going to do the microscopic level simulations. And for that, we have to pick a scenario. And this scenario has to be very critical. So we've selected the no-notice evacuation scenario caused by a nuclear power plant accident. In this map, you can see the US and the location of the power plant stations and their impact areas. As a case study, we selected the city of Hartsville. I'm not sure if it is visible here. We said that if any nuclear power plant accident happen, how we can evacuate the city, how we can evacuate it efficiently and fast. So we tested different cases. In the first case, we said that we will not provide any information to drivers. They will get the order and they will try to exit. In the next case, we said that people can get the information via visual message signs, the boards that you are seeing while you are traveling. The next case is the GPS. People can get information from GPS or the mobile phones. And the last case is the combination of the VMS and GPS. For the GPS use, we also tested different penetration ratios. We said that 30% of people, they can get GPS info, 60% and everybody. So when we checked the results were kind of as expected and unexpected. We tested the results with different measures of effectivenesses. We checked the total travel time. We checked the mean queue length and how many people they are exiting the city and their time curve. So as expected, if you don't provide any information, this is the worst case. I'm just going to go back. But if you provide a little bit information, things are getting better. People are evacuating faster and easier. But the unexpected part of the results is we got the best performance at the 60%. Before starting this study, we were thinking that 100% will perform the best because everybody knows what is happening. But the best ratio was captured as 60%. So then we think about, okay, what is happening here? So to explain this, imagine a scenario. We are in this room, and we are getting an order. We have to exit the room right now. And we have two exit doors. Door A somewhere close, door B somewhere at the end of the corridor. When we get the order, we are going to all run to door A because it is the closest one, and we are going to create some congestion there. When we are at the door A, if everybody gets the information about the door B, which is empty and totally open, we are going to all start to run door B. So what I did is, I took the congestion from door A and I carried everything to door B. So I'm just carrying the congestion from one point to another. But in another scenario, when we got stuck in door A, if the 50% of the people, they get an information about the door B, what will happen? 50% will stay in door A and other 50% is going to run to door B. I distributed the traffic and I maximize the efficiency. This is exactly what is happening in our study. So we found that both GPS and VMSs, they are great, and they are better when they are together. And for this case scenario, we found that 60% is the best penetration ratio. Thank you very much for your attention. This is my contact information. And this is the barcode. If you just scan it, it will direct you to my LinkedIn page. I would love to share knowledge and involve in technical discussions. Thank you.
Tuğba Hanım'a teşekkür ediyoruz. Bu araştırma Tuğba Hanım hangi ülkede gerçekleştirdi? Norveç mi? Amerika'da mı? Türkiye'de yapsak acaba farklı olur mu diye düşündük.
Yani farklı da olabilir ama genel trendin
Evet.
çok değişeceğini sanmıyorum.
Teşekkür ederiz. Bir diğer konuşmacı Sayın Martin Böhem. Martin Böhem geçen yıl summit'e de katılmış oldu bize. Çok değerli bilgilerini paylaştı. O zaman C-ROADS platformu temsilcisi olarak burada bizle C-ROADS'un yapmış olduğu çalışmaları aktarmıştı. Bugün ise başka bir şapkayla, Avusturya Tech şapkasıyla katılıyor. Aynı zamanda da C-ROADS'un ITS Vice President you are, isn't it? Okay. Aynı zamanda da Avusturya'nın aynı Esbağan'ın Muadili Kurumu'nun diyeyim en azından öyle bilin yardımcısı olarak görev yapıyor. Kendisine sözü bırakayım. Please, floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon. It's really a pleasure being here at ITS Turkey and having the head of ITS Austria with me. I think that's a right head for today. Yeah, what I'm going to talk today, it's not CITS, it's about CCAM. CCAM, it's Cooperative Connected Automated Mobility. Why I'm taking this topic? Because here everything comes together, everything what we already heard. This is, if you want to introduce cooperative connected automated mobility into the whole ecosystem, it will be electric. We need to have all the technologies. It will be shared mobility as well as self-driving cars. I don't know. We will see where everything goes towards. The slides will be available afterwards, so I will skip the one or other slide. For example, the explanation of Austria Tech. Just one word to that. Yes, we are dealing, for example, with mobility data. We are a federal agency. We are belonging 100% to the Austrian Ministry of Transport. And we are really dealing with the digital transformation of the mobility system as a whole. What does that mean? And we have a very strong infrastructure perspective. So we are looking on the whole system. What does it mean for the overall system, for the society, for the single people? Not just for the commercial part, not just what will happen with a single car, but what will happen with the overall mobility system. We have different departments, and one is dealing with CCAM, with automated mobility. And you will immediately see I'm speaking about automated mobility, not about autonomous mobility. Because for us, autonomous, it's like an autonomous country. It has its own rules. Automated needs to be embedded. It needs to be part of the overall rules set for this ecosystem. Therefore, I love the word automated mobility. It's not just driving. It's the overall mobility system. It's not just an automated driving experience. I expect that also public transport for sure will be automated. And then it's not so much about driving. What we are doing in Austria, we are enabling testing. We are enabling testing. We have a contact point for automated mobility. I will talk about that on the next slide. And we are looking on the legal frameworks. Do the legal frameworks allow first testing? And are they prepared for the really introduction of operative automated services in Austria? So we are working on the legal frameworks. And as already stated, we are looking on this inclusive mobility system. It's not just about one stakeholder. What does the first automated mobility car vehicle mean to the overall system? So when you're doing automated tests, it's not just about the car itself. What's happening to the surrounding cars? How do other drivers in non-automated vehicles react to an automated vehicle? Even the automated vehicle might be more safe. It might be that you have accidents in the surroundings because everybody's looking at this car, is about a little bit scared about what's happening now. Maybe the automated automated vehicle is doing a harsh brake and others have no information about that. So that's important for us. We need to know what does it mean to introduce automated mobility into the whole system. If you want to do a test in a real-world environment in Austria, you need first to come to Austria Tech. We have this contact point. You will get a permission. And in total, and you can see it here, we have several tests currently going on all across Austria. We also have in Austria, we have set up 2 automated vehicle types ourselves. Even we have no automotive industry, but we need to get data out of the cars. And if I take a traditional car, which you can get on the market, it's very difficult to get access to the data inside of the vehicle. And we need to know everything what the vehicle is doing. We need to interpret this data. We need to interpret the data of the surroundings, of the sensors. So we have also the possibility to offer the one or other automated cars, which have an open canvas, so we really can access all kind of data, which is very important to us. We have a huge stakeholder community in Austria, which I will not mention in detail, but important is we are working together with this community. So we have this stakeholder network and cooperation structure called a Strategic Alliance Automated Mobility, where we are working together to understand what does it mean for the mobility system. Yes, everybody is telling us it's important, we need it. We want, of course, doing the research in this area, but we need to learn what it at the end brings. And I'm always focusing on deployments, not only on research. Research needs to have a result, and the result for me, it's deployment, it's real operation. We have 2 test areas, which I would like to mention here. Where we have the first one, this is called Alplab, which is in the southern area of Austria, where we have a really well-equipped infrastructure, where we have, for example, and I would like to use this picture here, we have LiDAR sensors and all kind of sensors from the infrastructure side, so really to monitor not only the automated vehicles, but everything. You see the yellow thing in the center, which is cyclists. We have pedestrians, the green ones, and the red ones are cars. We need to know about, then we can really measure what is the impact of a single movement, of a single activity of one of the cars. And we have a second test area, which is called Digitrans, which is in the western part, or let's say in the central part of Austria, where we can simulate all kind of weather situations. Yeah, if it's snow, if it's harsh rain. So that's also very important, because an automated vehicle needs to be operative in all weather conditions. And I personally, I always say, okay, if I'm going with my current car, it has also some automated functions, but I always call it sunshine functions. If the sun shines, then it works. As soon as I have heavy traffic, if it starts raining, it says, okay, it's out of control, dear driver, please take over. But what does that mean to me? I like driving when the sun is shining, but if I have a difficult situation, I would like that the car is taking over, but the car is telling me, now it's your turn. I say, no, that's not the solution, at least I prefer. I would prefer to have a car that's supporting me in the harsh weather situations. Let's have a look a little bit on the projects, and I think that's what we are aiming for and what we are looking here at. I will bring examples of European initiatives. One of them is Inframix. Inframix, it's a project where we are looking on how can the infrastructure support automated vehicles. I know when we are talking about automated vehicle vendors, they're speaking about ODDs. Some of you might know those, operational design domains. This is the environment picture where a car operates inside. And as soon as there is harsh rain, they will say, okay, I can't operate anymore, so dear driver, please take over. But there might be infrastructure support. There might be that there is a map coming from the infrastructure operator so that we can enlarge the area when automated vehicle can operate. This might be in heavy traffic conditions. This might be in bad weather conditions. So there are different scenarios. And we are prepared to support automated vehicles. We are not against them. We want to support them. We want to be part of the game. It's a multi-stakeholder. Therefore, it's called CCAM, Cooperative Connected Automated Mobility. It's an ecosystem of several stakeholders. We are talking about orchestration of vehicles. All those things, like you mentioned with exit A and exit B, I need to have an orchestration. This is what traffic management is doing. And I do not expect that at the end, the OEM automaker 1 will do traffic management for their vehicles and automaker 2 will do traffic management for the other vehicles. No, we need to have an integrated look on the whole thing. And we have identified here different areas of automation. And you will immediately see that there's cooperative driving. And you know, I'm dealing with CITS, so cooperative ITS a lot. This is part of that. This is one part of the technology we need, aside artificial intelligence, connectivities, and all those things. We need to bring the things together, not to discuss technology just isolated, but bringing those things together. And that's exactly what CCAM is about, bringing all the research together. A huge project on European level was called SHOW, the SHOW initiatives, where they looked on automated vehicles in urban environments. And also here, you see here, it was the biggest, several projects, the biggest project ever on automated vehicles. But for us, very important, also in Austria, we had some test sites, and we were looking there on automated shuttles. Because we see that the shuttle might be the starting point, at least here in Austria. Why the shuttle? Yeah, we started with the shuttles just for the project, but we are now in the first pilot operations in some parts of Austria. We need to have automated shuttles for the first and last mile. And there is a very nice example. I think it's not on that one, it's the next one. This is Salzburg. There is a small village. You can't see it. It's on the bottom. It's called Koppel. It has 3,000 inhabitants. It's in the end of a valley. And you have the main road outside the valley. Do I need to make a public transport into the valley and back again? Or can I have there a connector with an automated shuttle? That's exactly what we are doing in this valley. We want to learn, is it possible? Is it accepted by the citizens? Is it accepted and accessible for tourism and so on? We need to learn about how not only the technical system works, but how is it accepted? What is accepted and where do we need to do improvements? We are also dealing, and this is another project called Award, where we are looking for truck transport. And this is an example where you have, for one company, you have a production place and you have the storage place, and they are on two different locations and they are connected via a main road. It would be perfectly to go from the construction site here really to have this connection Why an automated trucks? But how does this work in a real environment? This is what we are testing, where we are working upon, yeah? It will need not be just a system standalone and from today on everything will be automated. No, we need to learn that it needs to be integrated in the existing system. The last project I have with me, it's FAME. That might be important for you and interesting for you, because there is also this website, connectedautomatedDriving.eu. There you will find all kind of project information all across Europe. You will find that all kind of reports, everything what's happening on European level towards CCAM is there. This is a kind of one-stop shop. What we have done in FAME, we analyzed also the legal frameworks. And you will see there are already legal and administrative procedures for testing on public roads. We evaluated that through all different European countries. And we see that in most countries in Europe, there is already something existing. Of course, we are learning on that. We need to harmonize those things, especially when we are looking towards future. It would be a bad solution to have different legal requirements from different countries. So we need to harmonize those things. This is also a task what Austria usually brings forward. That's exactly the area we are going towards. If you're interested in automated mobility in Austria, we also have a report. I have some cards with me, so just come to me. You can have the card, then you can just click the screen, the code, and you will get access to the English report, which will be made available and which is produced once a year. With that, I'm at the end of my presentation and would like to thank you very much for your attention. Thank you.
Martin, infra mix just for me, because I'm hardly driving in snowy weather, so I'm happy to take over some driving from myself during snowy weather.
Yeah.
I think I do. Thank you, thank you.
Başarılı moderasyonu için Sayın Genel Müdürümüze teşekkür ediyoruz. Tüm panelistlerimize de verdikleri değerli bilgiler ve...
Bir panelistimiz daha var.
Evet, ben erken girdim. Çok özür diliyorum.
diliyorum. Çok pardon.
Tamam,
çok pardon.
sağ olun.
Susan Harris gelemedi.
Evet, doğru.
Avustralya'nın Akıllaşım Derneği diyebiliriz, onun CEO'su. Sunumunu video kaydıyla bize göndermiş oldu. Çok değerli bir sunum. O nedenle o video kaydını şimdi oynatıyor olacağız. Buyurun.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Susan Harris, the Chief Executive at ITS Australia. It's my absolute pleasure. Good morning, everyone. I'm Susan Harris, the Chief Executive at ITS Australia. It's my absolute pleasure to be here with you this morning, presenting a little bit about the ITS industry in Australia and the work that we're doing here. I'd really like to thank Esma Dalet for the invitation to present. It's a great thrill to be here virtually at the ITS conference in Turkey. My only regret is that I'm not able to be there in person with you. So I'm going to run through a little bit about ITS Australia and the initiatives that we have underway here. And of course, there's a standing invitation for all of you to come and join any of our events in Australia at any time. So ITS Australia, we're the peak body for advanced transport technology in Australia. We're a membership organisation and we're really proud to present a great diversity of organisations and members that we work with to shape future transport for all Australians. We work closely with our members and industry to create opportunities for them through conferences, through events and a range of online activities. We also work closely with our members to access the latest policy and research developments to make sure that when we advocate on behalf of our industry, it really is evidence-based and is pointing our governments and industry members in the right direction based on research and based on evidence. We're proud to have around 150 member organisations as part of our membership network. It's a diverse membership representing big organisations that you can see there, from big multinational organisations, most of our government transport agencies from across Australia, right through to small and medium enterprises. We think all of these rich ecosystem of organisations provide an important part of the story for our industry, so we're really proud to present them all. So I want to talk briefly about the recently released strategic plan that ITS Australia launched earlier last year. This provides a really good understanding of the strategic thinking we do behind all of the events and activities and the advocacy that we are engaged in. So the strategic plan was developed by our board of directors and our senior staff in close consultation with our board membership. The plan's underpinned by ITS Australia's vision that transport is safe, sustainable and productive, as well as accessible through the application of technology. So technology underpins everything we do, but very much, moving the people in Australia safe and efficiently is what we're all about. So today I'm going to outline a little bit of some of the research that we do that underpins our work, and then also some of the activities that we have going on that really would like to get you more involved in. So when we do dig a bit deeper in our strategic plan, this plan is supported by a refreshed mission that reflects our role leading Australia's ITS industry. Our vision also focuses on championing the expertise of our members and broader industry, both domestically and internationally. We're really proud of our reputation internationally, and we really want to, we're an island nation in Australia, and so it's really important that we're well connected with what's happening internationally, and also that we create opportunities for our members by introducing them to our network internationally. And we want to nurture a resilient and vibrant transport sector that's there to support our industry both now and into the future. And you'll see a bit about how this vision is reflected in the work that we undertake. So onto another one of our strategic papers. Earlier this year, we produced the ITS Australia Industry Vision. So our strategic plan is very much about ITS Australia and the work that we do and the way that we operate. Our industry vision is very much around where we see the industry needs to go to bring about the full benefits of ITS technology for the people right across Australia. We're a strong believer in a nationalised, harmonised approach, bringing the benefits of transport technology to all Australians, whether you're in a big city, whether you're in a remote or rural area, or depending on what your personal circumstances are. We believe that all Australians deserve to benefit from the opportunities of technology in transport. And we think that is best done by having a nationally harmonised approach. That means that everyone gets lifted together and we all get the same benefits. So our policy positions have been carefully refined for consultation with industry and our research. This ensures that our policy is very much evidence-based, so we're really pleased to underpin many of our policy positions from really strong research. So I'll dip a little bit more into some of that research that we've undertaken most recently, but we do have a really strong pipeline of research that has been undertaken right back since 2016 when we first hosted the ITS World Congress, and that provided some seed funding for us to be able to start to engage in this research activity. It's something that really now underpins who we are and engagement with industry and our advocacy to government and our stakeholders. So some of the pretty interesting work that we're currently engaged with is our recently announced CITS National Harmonisation and Pre-Deployment Project. This is being undertaken through the iMove Cooperative Research Centre in collaboration with the University of Melbourne, and has strong support from governments across Australia. So all of our research we do in partnership with a leading university to make sure it has that strong academic foundation, And we always do research in conjunction with our members, whether it be industry or government. And we want to make sure that our research that we undertake is really practical and pragmatic, but also that it brings the expertise of our members along the journey. So this piece of work is really interesting. It's looking to realise benefits and alignment between government and industry for the deployment of CITS. And what makes this project so significant is that it enjoys participation from major government transport agencies from across Australia. This project involves uplifting around 30 intersections in 5 corridors in Melbourne with advanced sensing and communication capability to continually transmit live information about traffic and safety to road users. This is deploying CITS at a significant scale that will enable real-world, busy urban environment that will allow assessment of the benefits in a real-world environment. What's really, I think, unique about this project is that while the deployment is happening in one of our smaller states in Victoria, populous, a lot of people live in Victoria, but it's one of our smaller states. But we have project participation from most states across Australia. So that means as we move forward and deploy this technology and have all these learnings deploying this relatively new technology, that we're bringing the rest of the country on the journey as well. And it really sets the scene for a national deployment in a harmonised way. So at the end of this piece of work, we're going to be able to assess the benefits and deployment considerations and different options. And that will be able to form a basis of recommendations that could support Australia's road authorities in the adoption of CITS in a nationally harmonised way. So this is a pretty significant project playing a key role in deployment of ITS in the future for Australia. And we're really proud to be one of the underpinning partners here. Another really interesting project that we've completed late last year was a project on integrated connected data for safer, more efficient transport management operations. So that's a bit of a mouthful, but this is really about leveraging new streams of data and bringing into the transport management centres so that we can leverage more real-time data that's already out there in the ecosystem to more efficiently manage the operations of traffic across the network. Similar to the previous project, this research is being delivered with the University of Melbourne in conjunction with iMove Australia and state government agencies you can see there on the screen. The aim of this research is to understand how to better leverage new data streams that's available in the transport ecosystem for real time that can deliver safety benefits. For example, this data, we can detect heavy braking, we can detect near misses, and really incidences that can identify black spots in the network or safety hazards in the network. And we can then start to address those and manage those before they become an incident. So this is really powerful data. This research aligns closely with our long-term safety and mobility goals, while promising immediate enhancements in traffic systems and driver support. We're really proud of this piece of research as a step towards leveraging available technology to create more efficient and safer roads without needing fully connected vehicle ecosystems. So this is using data that's in the network at the moment and enables us to capture that and harness that in a really practical way to deliver real benefits in the short term. And this is something that's available potentially not just in Australia, but we're excited about doing this research here as it's something that can be rolled out into other nations as well. So our research findings on this will be published on our website shortly. Encourage you to get on our website and have a look, not just at these pieces of research, but other items that you might be able to see as well. In terms of some of the other activities that we undertake, we're really proud to have just launched our third intake of our mentorship program. this program, we know that the people in our industry are sought after by others in the tech and IT spaces. But we know we have great people, and we want to really support and develop those people and encourage them to find a really worthwhile and rewarding career in the transport technology space. So this mentorship program pairs up our young professionals with more experienced ITS professionals and helps support their development. We have a whole range of events that take place throughout the calendar year. I'll give you a brief taste of those. So we will have just completed this presentation, this conference on roads, tolling and tech, as you are sitting down to your ITS conference. This event really brings together the nuts and bolts of technology and how it enhances our transport network. It looks at data, it looks at the tech deployed in our network, and aims to identify what's the latest tech happening out there and how can we bring about real benefits. So this is a 2-day conference, brings together around 150 people for a couple of days to really get into the nuts and bolts of ITS technology. We're now also heading towards Mobility 2025 in May up in Sydney. This conference really focuses on how we move people through the network. So it's a strong focus on public transit, micro-mobility, on-demand transport, mobility as a service, all the new tools that we've got available to us to really enhance how we can efficiently, seamlessly move people through our network and get them to where they want to be. We also have a lens of looking not just in our high-density cities, but how do we enhance transport from a community service point of view or in other areas, in regional and more remote areas. So this really gets a lot of great support and some really passionate conversations. There are a lot of really passionate people in this space. I really enjoyed this conference. And then, of course, our annual ITS Summit. But we're really proud of this event. It runs over 3 days, brings together towards 1,000 people from across Australia and our international guests. It's Australia's largest annual gathering of transport technology leaders. It runs over 3 days with a big exhibition, high-level speakers from Australia and internationally. So if you're looking for a trip to Australia in the coming 12 months, why not time it with our ITS Summit on the beautiful Gold Coast? As you can see there, it really is a beautiful place, and there'll be plenty of time to get out and about and experience the Gold Coast during the conference as well. Our call for papers for this will open shortly. So again, if I can tempt you, we'd love to have some papers from our friends in Turkey and to see you down on the Gold Coast for our summit in November. Another initiative that we really enjoy supporting is our ITS Australia Next Gens. They've been up and running for 5 or 6 years now, and this was an initiative to really support, again, the development of the younger people in our industry, create an opportunity for them to meet up with their peers, either in each state with their peers or online at a national level. And it's a real development opportunity because we hand over to our Next Gens and we ask them to lead the activities that they want to put on to support their colleagues. And we support them with the communication and a bit of the process, but really for some of our young professionals, this is the first time they've been a part of a committee in their working life, and it helps them to, really build their confidence and build their network. So this is a really nice initiative, and they're a great bunch, our Next Gens. We always love to see what they're up to. So that's a bit of a brief snapshot as to some of the things that we've got going on. As you can see, we've just launched our Instagram page. So if you have a sneak peek there, you'll see some of the material from our recent ITS Australia Awards. So some of us looking pretty glamorous and celebrating excellence in our industry. So feel free to jump on there and have a look. But yeah, really have a look at our website for more information on all of our research that we undertake and our past research, some information about our upcoming events and activities. And I'd love to see you in Australia at one of those in the future. So thanks very much for the opportunity. Enjoy the rest of your conference, and I look forward to connecting either in Australia or at an event down the track. Thank you.
Susan Harris'a teşekkür ediyoruz. Uzakta olmasına rağmen en yoğun zamanı herhalde kendisi kullanmış oldu. Faydalı olmasını umuyoruz. Herhalde süremiz kalmadı değil mi programda?
Evet hocam, maalesef.
Sorularımız için. Varsa bir tane soru belki seyirciden alabilirim.
Tabii.
Buyurun lütfen. Buyurun.
Ben sizi duyabiliyorum bu arada. Duyabiliyorum ben sizi bu arada.
Özellikle Türksel olarak demiryolu haberleşmesinde biliyorsunuz şu anda GSMR standardı kullanılıyor. Ankara, Eskişehir, Ankara, İstanbul hattında vesaire. Türksel olarak Türkiye'de büyük telekomünikasyon firmasınız zaten. Gelecek tarafta FRMCS, Future Rail ve Mobile Communication System kullanılacak. Evet. Bunu da bildiğiniz üzere UİK ve ERA tarafından şu anda geliştiriliyor standartlar onların öncülüğünde. Hatta Avrupa'da farklı ülkelerde daha fazla kullanılmaya başlanacak diyebiliriz. Burada Turkcell'in FRMCS kapsamında stratejik bir vizyonu var mı? Birinci sorum. Turkcell Private 5G Network çözümleri sunma kapasitesi nedir? FRMCS kapsamında yine. Bir de ulaştırma sektöründe dijitalleşmeye paralel olarak demiryolları haberleşmesinde nasıl bir rol üstlenmeyi düşünüyorsunuz diye biraz merak ettim. Sunumlarınız için de teşekkür ederim. Sağ olun.
Teşekkür ederim. Sağ olun. Şimdi GSMR standartlarının aslında dönüşümü gerekli bir durum idi. Hem klasik konvansiyonel tren sistemlerinden yeni tren sistemlerine dönüştü. Tabii ki konunun uzmanları kadar derin ve detaylamasına bilgiye sahip değilim. Ancak bizim mevcut operasyon ekiplerimizin haricinde bir Network Ar-Ge ekibimiz var. Network Ar-Ge ekibimizin yaptığı çalışmalardan bir tanesi de standartlara katkıda bulunmak. Özellikle çalıştığımız başlıklardan bir tanesi, zaten biz ITS sistemlerini sadece araçlarla sınırlı tutmuyoruz. Transportun tüm bacaklarıyla da ilgilenmekteyiz. Burada haberleşme endüstrisiyle sinyalleşme sistemlerinin bir arada kullanılmasına sağlayacak yeni nesil çözümler, yeni nesil standartlar aslında önemli. Çünkü yüksek hızlı trenlerde özellikle klasik bakış açısıyla bir sinyalin, bir konuşmamıza ya da internete girmemizi sağlayacak olan sinyalin kapsül şeklindeki tren sistemlerinde içeri girmesi oldukça zor. Üstüne bir de biraz teknik tabir Doppler efektle aslında yüksek hızla giden bir trenin içerisinde sinyalin gönderilmesi ve alınması ile ilgili olası farklı durumlar söz konusu. Bu yeni standartlarda konuşulan, tartışılan bir konu. Spesifik olarak biz buradayız. Burayla ilgili uzman arkadaşlarımız var, çalışan konular var. Ama biz sadece hani sinyalleşmeye katkı açısından değil, işin içerisinde kaliteli sinyalleşme, o yüksek hızda bir nevi izolasyonu sağlanmış tren kapsülünün içerisine de o sinyalin götürülmesi için çeşitli çalışmalar yapıyoruz. Bu birinci konu. Private network konuşulan sadece ulaşım sistemlerinde ya da ITS'de, AUS'ta değil, tüm sektörlerde konuşulan başlıklardan bir tanesi. Burada biz ihtiyaç duyan her sektörde çözüm sağladığımız farklı private network kabiliyetlerini yelpaze olarak kataloglarımıza ekledik. Datanın tamamının kendisinde kalmasını isteyen bir endüstriden paylaşımlı core network kullanıp datayı paylaşan endüstriye kadar farklı çözümlerde ihtiyaç sahiplerine farklı alternatif private network çözümü sunabilmekteyiz. Ancak burada spektrumun sahipliği, kullanılan yerin ve orada taşınacak datanın önemi, bununla birlikte datanın regülatif anlamda çeşitli hazırlıklarının yapılmasıyla ilgili çeşitli konularda da zaten iş sahibinin hali hazırda regülasyonla yakın ilişkisi olan operatörler üzerinden de endüstriyle birlikte o sac ayağının üçgeninin bir araya gelmesini çok değerli buluyoruz. Zaten önümüzdeki yıl inşallah hayata geçecek 5G teknolojisiyle birlikte de private network'lerle ilgili farklı kullanım senaryoları da oluşacaktır. Üçüncü sorunuz transport ya da akıllaşımda dijitalleşme anladığım kadarıyla o başlıktaydı. Bununla ilgili demiryolları ağlarında aslında birinci soruyla çok alakalı bir durum. Şimdi normal klasik transport yöntemlerinin haricinde demiryollarında insan ve çeşitli lojistik taşımalarında sadece data değil IoT sistemlerinin sensör yapılarında oluşturulması, sağlıklı sinyalleşmelerin yapılması, 250-300 hatta dünyada gördüğümüz örnekleriyle 500 kilometreye yaklaşan hızlarda verinin, iletimin altyapısının oluşturulması gibi ihtiyaçlar da aslında burada sorumluluğun sadece demiryollarında değil, aslında destekleyici, haberleşme bunlardan sadece bir tanesi, destekleyici tüm faktörleri oluşturacak sektörlerde olması gerektiğine inanıyoruz. Zor bir problem, kolay bir problem değil ama zaten bunlar olsun ki çözüm için uzmanlarımız, araştırmacılarımız ya da ekosistem kafa yorsun, çözüm geliştirsin. Ben eminim ki kısa süre içerisinde özellikle ülkemizdeki tren yolu ağlarının gelişmesiyle, hızların artmasıyla, buradaki yapıların, sinyalleşme yapılarının dönüşümüyle birlikte çok daha sağlıklı, çok daha iyi çözümlerin elde edileceğini söyleyebilirim. Son bir eklemem daha var. Klasik yollarımızın haricinde demir yolları genelde aslında daha kırsal yapılardan dolaştığı için ve örneğin Ankara-Sivas hattını ben çok iyi biliyorum. Gerçekten çok zor bir hat. Onlarca tünel var içeride. Çok kırsal bir coğrafyayı yara aşağı gidip 2 tane güzide kentimizi yüksek hızla birbirine bağlıyor. Buralara sinyal de götürmek, buralarda haberleşmeyi sağlamakta aslında ayrı bir zorluk. Bunun içinde gerçekten konunun uzmanı ve spesifik olarak bu işle uğraşan arkadaşlarımız sadece Turkcell'de değil, 3 operatörümüzde de var. Buraları biz Turkcell, Türk Telekom, Vodafone olarak görmüyoruz. Buralarda biz ortak sinyal götürmek ve insanları gerçekten o trenin içerisinde geçirdikleri vakti eğlenceli kılmak istiyoruz. Var gücümüzle de çalışıyoruz. Teşekkür ederim.
Teşekkür ediyorum panelistlerimize. Çok sağ olun.
Sağ olun. Ben
İlavesi
bir şey
olabileceğiz.
söyleyebilir miyim?
Buyurun.
Bu
Tabii. Buyurun.
oturumla ilgili.
Buyurun.
I want to say something about ITC. I think that innovation, integration and application. Bu kadar, just it. Thank you very much. Kıymetli panelistlerimize çok teşekkür ediyoruz kattıkları bilgiler için, sundukları bilgiler için. Genel Müdürümüz Aysel Kandemir hanımefendiye başarılı moderasyonu için teşekkür ediyoruz.